to react, tape something quick here, because look at this. Taylor Swift feels like she was used by Blake Lively in her war with Justin Baldoni. She resents Blake calling her one of her dragons and leveraging her name. What did I say, Kim? Did I not say that when this first happened? I was like, I would be pissed if you... Colleen Hoover is back on Instagram, but she's removed all traces of Blake Lively. Also, Hollywood, can we stop this narrative that both of them are marching towards mutually assured destruction? One of them's just trying to defend...
Alliances can make or break you one moment. You're Hollywood's golden couple, charming, untouchable, admired by millions. The next moment, everything changes. Friends, colleagues, even family start slipping away without a word. Blake Lively and Ryan. Reynolds have spent years crafting a flawless image, witty, lovable, and the perfect balance of glamour and relatability. But now that carefully built facade is starting to crumble, big-name celebrities are pulling away, and you won't believe who's at the center of it all. For years, Taylor Swift and Blake Lively were inseparable. They vacationed together, shared inside jokes online, and flooded Instagram with playful stories. Even Ryan Reynolds had a strong bond with Taylor, often making surprise appearances in her content and publicly supporting her career. Their friendship ran so deep that Taylor even named characters in her music. After Lively and Reynolds' children from the outside, it seemed like an unshakable connection. But something changed, and it changed. Fast reports began surfacing that Blake Lively had been using Taylor's name behind the scenes without her permission. The controversy started with the film It Ends With Us and its director Justin Baldoni. Sources claim that when things weren't going Blake's way, she allegedly invoked Taylor's name as leverage to pressure Baldoni into making certain decisions. Leaked messages suggest that Blake referred to Taylor as one of her dragons.
Different. She called herself Khaleesi and said Ryan Reynolds and we believe Taylor Swift were her dragons. And she's got the best dragons because they'll fight on behalf of her friends too. Now she and Taylor are reportedly on the outs because Taylor Swift is like, bitch, I'm nobody's dragon. That's
a term suggesting a powerful ally she could summon when needed. A shocking claim emerged from a YouTube livestream where it was alleged that Lively used Swift's name to intimidate Baldoni, making it seem like Taylor was backing her demands. But there was one major issue: Taylor had no idea her name was being used. Taylor Swift is known for fiercely protecting her brand and image, and when she found out how her influence had been used without her knowledge, she was blindsided, sources say. She felt manipulated and betrayed. The idea that she had unknowingly been dragged into Hollywood power plays did not sit well with her.
Because look at this. Taylor Swift feels like she was used by Blake Lively in her war with Justin Baldoni. She resents Blake calling her one of her dragons and leveraging her name. What did
The final straw came when Taylor attended a private meeting at Blake and Ryan's penthouse. According to Lively's version of events, Taylor was fully aware that this meeting was about the It Ends With Us controversy with Baldoni, but sources close to Swift tell a different story. They claim she thought she was simply offering emotional support to a friend, unaware of the deeper Hollywood power struggles at play, feeling used and caught in a situation she never agreed to. Swift started pulling away. In the weeks that followed, subtle changes became noticeable. Taylor, who once flooded social media with playful interactions with Blake, suddenly went silent. No more comments.
Deposition of Taylor Swift is like a nightmare for her. It's a nightmare. It's got to be a nightmare for Blake and Ryan. No one wants Taylor. I'm sure last thing they're going to want is Taylor Swift to have to go get subpoenaed, and then they're going to have to go through her stuff that costs her legally. And now she's in this mess for why? For what? And now there's plenty of evidence that shows.
No more shout-outs. Fans noticed that Swift, who is known for her loyalty, was no longer engaging with Blake online. An obvious sign that something had shifted. But Taylor isn't the only one stepping away from Blake and Ryan. More A-listers are quietly distancing themselves. Insiders suggest that other celebrities are also reconsidering their ties with the couple, questioning whether their carefully curated image is as authentic as it once seemed. Hollywood is a place of alliances, and once those alliances start to crack, the fallout can be swift and unforgiving. If true, this would explain why Swift reportedly feels manipulated by Lively's actions, being unknowingly.
I could definitely see her not being happy with this, and it really brings up a lot more questions when it comes to the things that Blake has said, the things that Blake has claimed. And it's kind of been one of the things that I've been stuck on, of reading these text messages of her talking about doing the rooftop scene and that she wants to be taken more seriously.
Hollywood battle is the last thing she would want. especially given her history of being pulled into public controversies. Despite the swirling rumors, Taylor Swift has remained silent about the situation. At least publicly, this aligns with her pattern of not directly addressing personal disputes but instead weaving them into her music. If history is any indication, fans might see hints of this drama in future lyrics, cryptic social media posts, or even a change in her inner circle. Her silence, however, does not mean she isn't taking action. Reports suggest that Swift has been quietly distancing herself from Lively and Reynolds, removing them from her guest list for the Super Bowl suite she hosted. Swift has a well-documented history of cutting ties with former friends and collaborators who overstep boundaries, so this move seems to be a deliberate statement rather than a coincidence. With rumors intensifying, many are questioning whether Lively's recent public statements are a form of damage control rather than taking full accountability. She may be trying to shift blame and minimize the fallout. If Taylor Swift truly feels used in this situation, Lively's attempts at spinning the narrative may only make things worse, given Swift's massive influence and fiercely loyal fan base. Lively could be facing more backlash than she anticipated. The response from Swift's fans has been swift and unforgiving across social media. People are calling out Lively for what they see as a blatant betrayal. One viral post read, "Blake, Lively, you deserve all of this."
All this editing nonsense of Blake refusing to let Justin make his movie and I'm not going to give you Taylor's song. I'm not going to give you Taylor's song. You mean girl bully. If this is real, Blake Lively, you deserve all of this. This is a reckoning she needs to hear. This isn't bullying. This isn't harassment. This is accountability.
This is a reckoning she needs to. Here others argue that this isn't bullying, but rather a necessary consequence of crossing a line using a friend's fame and influence without explicit consent is not just a betrayal of trust. It's an ethical minefield. Taylor Swift, who has been vocal about artists maintaining creative control and avoiding industry manipulation, now finds herself in a situation where her own image was reportedly used without her approval. The irony isn't lost.
Well, there's more. Sources say Taylor is also learning Blake has been inappropriate leveraging her name for a long time, like telling a young actress that Taylor cast her, which simply did not happen. Oh my God. If this is true, holy crap. TMZ dropped a new podcast, Two Angry Men, in which Harvey asked Justin's lawyer Brian about the subpoenaing of Taylor. It was easy to read between the lines. One thing is clear, Taylor feels used. It's a huge falling out. Taylor is godmother to one of Brian.
Lost on her fans, many of whom see this as another example of how even the most powerful artists can be caught in the crossfire of Hollywood. While neither party has made an official statement, actions speak louder than words. Swift's subtle distancing suggests that this friendship may not recover. If past experiences are any indication, Taylor may take her time before making any definitive moves, but when she does, it will be calculated and final. For Lively, the damage may already be done, losing Taylor Swift's trust, and by extension, her powerful network could have long-term repercussions as more people in Hollywood begin questioning their relationships with Lively and Reynolds. Their once bulletproof public image continues to crack. It ends. With us started this drama, and her reaction towards Tew, it has further enhanced the not-so-pleasant beliefs people have about her. Justin was the one who initially reached out to Colleen Hoover. The best-selling author behind It Ends With Us was initially seen as an ally of Blake Lively. She had enthusiastically supported Lively's casting in the film adaptation, even publicly praising her involvement. However, as tensions between Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and director Justin Baldoni escalated, Hoover found herself at the center of an unexpected controversy, one that eventually led to her distancing herself from Lively in a very public yet subtle way. Justin starts fighting back by releasing overwhelming evidence against Blake. And what did Colleen do this time? She deactivated the same account she used as a platform to stand up for Blake, which is a way to remove herself from the conversation after seeing the fallout when the controversy began. Hoover made a surprising move. She deactivated her Instagram account. This sudden departure from social media left fans wondering if she was trying to avoid the growing drama. The controversy surrounding It Ends With Us was reaching new heights, and rumors suggested that Hoover was reconsidering her stance on Lively's involvement in the project. But what fueled speculation was what happened when Hoover returned to Instagram. Instead of resuming her usual activity, she wiped her account clean, deleting 32 posts and removing all mentions of Blake Lively. If that wasn't enough of a statement, she also unfollowed 11 accounts with Lively's name suspiciously missing from her public support system. while Blake Lively no longer follows. Colleen Hoover. Hoover still follows Lively. This detail has sparked debate among fans. Does Hoover still hold some loyalty toward Lively? Or is this a strategic move to keep the tension under the radar? Hoover may be attempting to create distance without making a direct public statement by removing all traces of Lively from her social media. She's sending a strong message without outright addressing the controversy. However, the fact that she hasn't fully unfollowed Lively suggests that she may still be navigating where she stands in this conflict.
Colleen Hoover is back on Instagram, but she's removed all traces of Blake Lively. Also, Hollywood, can we stop this narrative that both of them are marching towards mutually assured destruction? One of them's just trying to defend himself.
Damning receipts Justin has against Blake with her social media break rumors broke about Colleen's early retirement from writing. Also, there's a crazier blind item regarding how Colleen is allegedly considering filing a lawsuit against Blake and Ryan due to promises that were made and not kept. Blake made some promises, both public and private, to Colleen. One of them was to work with Colleen to keep adapting her books into movies. Most importantly, it's alleged that Colleen might be suing to save herself. While these rumors are yet to be confirmed, the best-selling author is trying to distance herself from Blake and Ryan, seeing how everything has now backfired. She's starting by removing social media from her phone and cutting off communications with Blake despite supporting her earlier in the controversy. Colleen wouldn't be the first person to have a change of mind over their early stance in the drama, as Blake's brother-in-law is also turning around to leave Blake Hoover's apparent shift in loyalty may have deeper consequences. Reports indicate that after Baldoni released incriminating evidence against Lively, Hoover reconsidered her stance. Some sources even claim that she is weighing legal action against Lively and Reynolds for broken promises possibly related to creative control or contractual obligations tied to the film. If Hoover does decide to pursue legal action, it could mark a major turning point in the already messy dispute, given her initial enthusiasm. For the film adaptation, a lawsuit would signify a complete severing of ties with Lively and Reynolds, turning a behind-the-scenes feud into a very public legal battle. Though Hoover has remained largely silent, her actions are speaking volumes, deleting Lively-related content, subtly unfollowing certain accounts, and stepping back from the controversy, all point to one thing: she no longer wants to be associated with the drama surrounding It Ends With Us. Whether Hoover will eventually break her silence remains to be seen, but one thing is clear. Blake Lively has lost a powerful ally, and the cracks in her Hollywood support system are growing wider. Bart Johnson, best known for playing Coach Bolton in High School Musical, is more than...
We got Blake Lively's brother-in-law, the coach from High School Musical. He is now apologizing.
Lively. Initially, Johnson fiercely defended Lively when the controversy with Justin Baldoni erupted, going so far as to subtly attack Baldoni on social media. However, as new evidence surfaced, Johnson found himself in an uncomfortable position, realizing that he might have been on the wrong side of the dispute all along. When Johnson first entered the fray, he made a social media post that many saw as a clear jab at Baldoni, though he avoided directly naming him. The references were unmistakable. He criticized a certain type of person.
On record, long before the public conflict, the cast unfollowed him for a reason. But, he's not mentioning anyone specific. He's not mentioning anyone specific. Bart, yes.
He found disingenuous, mentioning a man bun and performative behavior given Baldoni's well-known hairstyle and reputation. For emotional storytelling, the implication was obvious. Initially, Johnson tried to downplay his remarks, claiming they weren't about Baldoni. However, the internet wasn't convinced. The backlash was swift, with fans and commentators calling out the hypocrisy of his statements. If Johnson was truly against performative behavior, why was he making passive-aggressive posts instead of addressing the issue head-on? Say his name. I think you forgot to mention the person you were supposed to be apologizing to. His name is Justin Baldoni. Otherwise, your blanket apology. After facing criticism, Johnson issued an apology, but it was vague and evasive. Instead of directly addressing Baldoni or admitting fault, he framed it as a general message about negativity. He avoided taking responsibility, making it seem like a deflection rather than a genuine act of remorse. Anytime I've said. As more evidence surfaced, including Baldoni's alleged proof against Blake Lively, Johnson seemed to have a realization. Insiders report that Johnson quietly began distancing himself from the controversy, no longer defending Lively as fiercely as before, and then came the moment that shocked fans. Johnson publicly admitted that he had been misled. While he didn't throw Lively under the bus, outright he acknowledged that he had spoken too soon and that he now saw things differently. His shift in perspective suggested that he had either been presented with new information or had finally taken a step back to evaluate the situation objectively, or this revelation wasn't just a personal admission, it was a major blow to Lively and Reynolds. If even family members were beginning to question their actions, what did that say about the strength of their defense? Johnson's change of heart reinforces the growing divide between Lively and those who once supported her. His initial attack on Baldoni was one of the strongest defenses Lively had in the public sphere. But now, with even her brother-in-law reconsidering his stance, it signals that the tide is turning against her. If Johnson, who has every reason to stand by family, is beginning to see the truth, who else will follow? The controversy is far from over, but one thing is clear. Lively and Reynolds' once solid support system is rapidly crumbling. Scarlett Johansson and Blake Lively, two names that have unexpectedly been linked in whispers of Hollywood drama. Reynolds was married to Johansson in 2008 before their split in 2010, but do you know what else happened in 2010? The filming of Green Lantern, featuring none other than Ryan and Blake. Scarlett Johansson and Ryan Reynolds were once Hollywood's power couple, until their sudden and unexpected breakup. While both have remained largely private about their divorce, persistent rumors suggest that Blake Lively played a role in the breakdown of their marriage. Now, years later, Johansson's recent collaboration with Justin Baldoni has reignited speculation. Some say she's subtly taking a stand against her ex-husband and his wife. The timeline is impossible to ignore. Green Lantern's production began in March 2010 and wrapped in August 2010. Reports from the set described undeniable chemistry between Ryan and Blake. Intense, flirtatious, impossible to ignore. People who worked on the film claimed the two were giggly and overly familiar, sparking whispers that their connection went beyond mere co-stars. The controversy dates back to Green Lantern, the 2011 film where Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively first met. At the time, Reynolds was still married to Johansson, while Lively was in a high-profile relationship with her Gossip Girl co-star Penn Badgley. Yet, even before their respective breakups, rumors of an on-set romance between Reynolds and Lively were already swirling. Then came the now infamous interview where Reynolds attempted to downplay their early connection. "We were buddies then. I remember it was funny because we were both single. We went on a double date. She was with another guy, and I was with another girl." But Hollywood insiders and gossip columnists weren't convinced. Their chemistry was too electric, too natural to be strictly platonic, and then there was the now-deleted tweet. A writer once claimed that Reynolds and Lively shared a romantic encounter in New Orleans while he was still married to Johansson. Though the accusation was never proven, it only added fuel to an already raging fire. Up when RR was still married to ScarJo and holed up in a NOLA hotel room during Green Lantern, the cryptic tweet read, "The post vanished, but the speculation did not." Johansson, for her part, has never directly addressed the rumors, but in interviews over the years, she has alluded to the struggles of being in a relationship with a fellow actor. Many believe her remarks about controlling partners were veiled references to Reynolds, hinting at the deeper cracks in their marriage, and now the tension lingers. There's a lingering unease between Blake and Scarlett, one insider revealed. It's more than just old wounds. It's about betrayal. As the Hollywood drama unfolds, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds find themselves increasingly isolated. Their once loyal allies are distancing themselves, and now even Scarlett Johansson's latest move raises eyebrows. While the media fixates on the fallout between Lively and her former supporters, Johansson's actions may be the most telling of all. Johansson recently announced a new collaboration with Justin Baldoni on Eleanor the Great, marking her directorial debut. Baldoni, financing the project through Wayfarer Studios, will serve as both producer and executive producer. While this may seem like a standard industry partnership, many speculate it's a subtle statement against her ex-husband, Ryan Reynolds, and his wife, Blake Lively. Given the intricate alliances in Hollywood, Johansson's decision to work with Baldoni is unlikely to be a coincidence. She has never publicly commented on the ongoing tension between Lively, Reynolds, and Baldoni. But this partnership speaks volumes. Some believe she sees it as an opportunity to distance herself from her ex, while supporting someone she feels has been unfairly targeted. For years, Lively and Reynolds have cultivated the image of a perfect Hollywood couple. However, with old, rumors resurfacing and Johansson's quiet moves, that carefully crafted facade is beginning to crack. If Johansson's collaboration with Baldoni is indeed a statement, it could further isolate Lively and Reynolds at a time when their public image is already under fire. And if more buried details emerge, it could bring back past controversies they've worked hard to suppress. The past never truly disappears in Hollywood, and Johansson's decision to work with Baldoni serves as a reminder of that. For Lively and Reynolds, this could spell trouble. Penn Badgley picks a side, and it's not Blake's. Another twist in the unfolding drama comes from an unexpected source: Penn Badgley. Once Blake Lively's on-screen and off-screen partner, Badgley's recent actions suggest he's taking a stance, and not in her favor. Lively's tactics against Baldoni included unfollowing him on Instagram and allegedly influencing cast members to do the same. However, in a surprising turn of events, Penn Badgley not only refused to follow suit, but actually follows Baldoni. Badgley and Lively's relationship was once the epitome of young Hollywood romance. Their on-screen chemistry on Gossip Girl seamlessly translated into a real-life love story, making them one of the most talked-about couples of the late 2000s. Even after their breakup in 2010, they managed to maintain a drama-free public relationship, until now. Badgley has always been known for his introspective and deeply philosophical nature, a stark contrast to Hollywood's glitz and glam. His personal journey toward spirituality and mindfulness placed him in the same sphere as Justin Baldoni, who is widely respected for his work in media and personal development. The two have formed a bond over shared ideologies, one that even Lively's influence couldn't shake. Penn Badgley's unexpected move to support Justin Baldoni over Blake Lively wasn't just a casual decision, it was a statement. For years, Penn and Blake maintained a seemingly drama-free post-breakup relationship. There were no public feuds, no cryptic interviews, no passive-aggressive tweets, just two exes who had moved on. But when the controversy between Baldoni and Lively erupted, Penn's actions sent shockwaves through social media. In a move that didn't go unnoticed, Penn unfollowed Blake on Instagram. And in Hollywood, an unfollow is rarely just an unfollow. It's a declaration. His decision to sever digital ties with Lively was widely interpreted as him taking a side, and it wasn't hers. While Penn didn't issue a formal statement, those familiar with his character knew this wasn't an impulsive act. He isn't one to engage in social media theatrics or Hollywood drama. If he distanced himself, it meant he had seen enough behind the scenes to make an informed choice, one that didn't align with Lively's narrative. But Penn's support for Baldoni wasn't just about the controversy. Their connection ran deeper. The two share a spiritual bond through the Baha'i faith, a religion centered on unity, equality, and justice. This shared ideology had already fostered a mutual respect between them, long before the public fallout. In 2022, Penn even invited Justin onto his podcast, Pod Crushed, where they discussed relationships, self-growth, and deeper philosophies, conversations, far removed from the glitz and superficiality of Hollywood. For Penn, siding with Baldoni wasn't about rekindling old drama with an ex. It was about integrity. If Baldoni had the receipts, if the truth painted Lively and Reynolds in a different light than what the public had long believed, then Penn wasn't going to turn a blind eye. And that, in itself, was a massive blow to Lively's carefully curated image. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have long been Hollywood's golden couple, known for their charm, wit, and seemingly perfect marriage. They've mastered the art of controlling the public narrative, using their playful personas to shape perceptions. But this time, their strategy backfired spectacularly. Lively reportedly believed that her old connections, including Penn, would stand by her out of loyalty. After all, they had history. What she failed to account for, however, was Penn's evolution. He wasn't the same Gossip Girl heartthrob who once thrived in the high-stakes world of Hollywood PR games. He had grown, prioritized different values, and made choices based on principle, not past affiliations. Penn's quiet defection is just one example of the shifting dynamics in Hollywood, where blind loyalty is no longer the norm. With the rise of social media and the ever-present risk of leaked messages and receipts, celebrities can no longer rely on their status alone to shield them from accountability. The entertainment industry is evolving, and the traditional power plays that Lively and Reynolds once wielded are losing their effectiveness, and Penn isn't the only one pulling away from Lively. Anna Kendrick. A long, simmering feud. While some celebrity fallouts unfold in the public eye, others simmer quietly behind the scenes. The alleged tension between Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick is one such case. On screen, the two delivered electrifying chemistry in ASimpleFavor, 2018, playing best friends caught in a web of mystery and deception. But behind the scenes, things were reportedly much frostier. Fans first suspected friction between the co-stars during the film's press tour, where their interactions seemed noticeably distant. In interviews, Kendrick often appeared reserved whenever Lively was mentioned, while Lively rarely acknowledged Kendrick at all. The rumored tension is said to have originated from an offhand joke Kendrick made about Taylor Swift, a remark that reportedly didn't sit well with Lively, who is famously one of Swift's closest friends. Whether the comment was meant in jest or not, the fallout seemed to linger. Yet, despite any behind-the-scenes tension, the two were professional enough to return for the film's sequel, which wrapped filming in April 2020. However, eagle-eyed, fans have pointed out subtle moments in their interactions that suggest all is not well. Their body language in joint interviews, their reluctance to engage with each other, and the absence of public support between the two actresses have fueled ongoing speculation about an unresolved rift. While neither Kendrick nor Lively has ever openly addressed the rumored feud, Hollywood insiders believe the friction remains. In an industry where relationships can make or break careers, their strained dynamic serves as yet another crack in the once flawless image of Blake Lively, one that is becoming harder to ignore. With the sequel to ASimpleFavor in the works, many expected the rumored feud between Lively and Kendrick to fade away. However, insiders suggest the tension never fully disappeared. Now, with Lively under scrutiny for her public dispute with Justin Baldoni, Kendrick's quiet distance from her former co-star is being viewed in a whole new light. Sources claim that by the end of filming ASimpleFavor, the two actresses had stopped speaking altogether. Their once professional dynamic had soured, turning into what some described as an outright rivalry. While the studio reportedly urged them to maintain a friendly front during the press tour, the forced camaraderie barely masked their underlying hostility. Unlike a single explosive fallout, their rift was said to be a slow-building clash of personalities. Lively, known for her extroverted charm and effortless wit, was often the center of attention in interviews. Kendrick, in contrast, leaned into dry humor and self-deprecation, preferring a more low-key approach. The natural difference in their styles reportedly led to friction on set. Then, there was the issue of competition. While Lively was the bigger household name at the time, Kendrick had an Oscar nomination and a devoted fan base of her own. The film was meant to be a balanced two-hander, but insiders whispered that Lively wanted a larger share of the spotlight, whether in red carpet positioning, marketing materials, or media presence. Adding another layer to the tension was Lively's close friendship with Taylor Swift. While Kendrick and Swift never had any known conflict, they weren't particularly close either. Some speculate that Lively's inner circle, dominated by Swift and her elite group of celebrity friends, may have unintentionally excluded Kendrick. There were even rumors that Lively made subtle jabs about Kendrick's social standing in Hollywood, reinforcing the idea that she was the bigger star. This rumored divide was amplified when Swift dropped Reputation in 2017, an album widely interpreted as her most call-out heavy and vengeful work. While no one suggested Kendrick was directly targeted, some fans speculated that Lively's deep involvement with Swift at the time may have only widened the gap between the two actresses. Fast forward to today, and both actresses are set to reprise their roles in ASimpleFavor 2. Many assumed that if their rumored feud had been real, it would have derailed any chance of a sequel. However, Hollywood is full of co-stars who may not get along but still show up when there's a paycheck involved. Insiders claim that while Lively and Kendrick remain professional on set, they are far from friendly. Unlike other co-stars who gush about reuniting for a sequel, Neither actress has publicly expressed excitement about working together again. Kendrick, known for her blunt honesty, has made vague references in past interviews about difficult work experiences in Hollywood, leading some to speculate she may have been alluding to Lively. Meanwhile, Lively, who typically dominates PR efforts for her projects, has been noticeably silent about Kendrick in recent interviews. Whether this is a strategic move to avoid reigniting old rumors or a sign that the tension still lingers is up for debate. But with Lively's public image already taking a hit due to her ongoing dispute with Justin Baldoni, Kendrick's long-standing distance from her former co-star is now being re-examined. Was Kendrick onto something all along? Then, there's Don Saladino, Lively's longtime personal trainer, who has recently made headlines for his subtle but deliberate online actions. Lively jokingly credited Saladino for helping her fit into some of her clothes again, after having 4 kids. While the remark was playful, it highlighted just how close their professional relationship had been. However, amid the growing controversy surrounding Lively and Reynolds, Saladino appears to be quietly distancing himself from the couple. For years, Saladino was a fixture in both Lively's and Reynolds' fitness journeys, training them for physically demanding roles, and publicly celebrating their progress. His connection to the power couple seemed solid, built on years of trust and collaboration. He even had a pinned photo of himself with Reynolds and a highlighted Deadpool reel on his Instagram. But now, those posts have mysteriously disappeared. This quiet erasure hasn't gone unnoticed. Known for working with some of Hollywood's biggest names, including Hugh Jackman, Sebastian Stan, and Anne Hathaway, Saladino is a professional who rarely engages in celebrity drama. Yet his decision to remove traces of Lively and Reynolds from his social media suggests a shift in their dynamic. Was it a personal falling out, a business dispute, or did he witness something behind the scenes that made him reconsider his loyalty? Adding fuel to the speculation, Saladino recently shared an article subtly mocking Ryan Reynolds, an unexpected move from someone who once trained him. While he didn't openly criticize Reynolds or Lively, the timing of the post, combined with his erasure of their history, sent a clear message. He was stepping away. Unlike actors or influencers, personal trainers don't rely on public perception to sustain their careers. They work behind the scenes, focusing on results rather than headlines. That's what makes Saladino's silent disengagement all the more significant. He didn't have to pick a side, but it appears he did anyway. Rumors suggest that Lively had previously referred Justin Baldoni to Saladino while they were still on good terms. If true, this only adds another layer to the tangled web of shifting alliances. There's no direct evidence linking Saladino's departure to the controversy surrounding Lively, Reynolds, and Baldoni, but as the backlash against Lively intensifies, it's possible that her inner circle is beginning to fracture. Hollywood thrives on reputation and relationships. When A-listers start pulling away, the damage is hard to undo. For years, Lively and Reynolds wielded their star power effortlessly, but now, their once pristine image is showing cracks. The question remains, can Blake and Ryan recover from this? Or is this the beginning of the end for Hollywood's golden couple?